Everybody, welcome back to Forever United TV. I'm Adam, bringing you completely up to date this Friday, the 12th of September. Yes, the weekend is here, football is back, and we're looking ahead to the Manchester derby throughout the next 2 days. Big decisions need to be made by Ruben Amorim, particularly in that midfield area. We're going to discuss that this morning because there is more injury updates about Matheus Cunha and Mason Mount, whether they actually will feature and how long they're actually out for. There's a few differing reports going around on that we're going to talk about, but one thing is for certain. It doesn't at the moment look like either one of them players is actually going to feature in the Manchester derby. As it stands, that could change, and of course Ruben Amorim may enlighten us a little bit on that in the press conference later on. Again, don't forget, around about 1:15 today, we are live with Ruben Amorim's thoughts and his comments from the press conference after the international break, so big injury updates to come today on this. But we have to discuss the midfield area, the futures of Manchester United's two central midfielders in particular. Last night we talked about Casemiro. We're going to talk about Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte today in this show because it does look like, and there's quite a few reports going around now about Manchester United's plan for midfield going into the next transfer windows, January and the one in the summer. Now, we talked about this quite a lot already, and we've talked about several players. Obviously, we're looking at Elliot Anderson, we're looking at Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba, all of these players, and it's been reported that United are going to bring in at least two. Off the back of Casemiro's news last night at Manchester United, not too sure what to do with him yet, and even Ben Jacobs backed this up as well, talking about an uncertainty over Casemiro's future, not completely sure if he's leaving or not. I think we came to the general consensus last night that Casemiro should be leaving, but that's one player out of the way. Obviously another midfielder will come in, but if you're going to buy another midfielder now, then surely that midfielder will be someone that you want to play, especially in Ruben Amorim's system and Ruben Amorim and his position right now at Manchester United. So we get through this season, then, yeah, Ruben Amorim can go and pick what midfielder he wants. But what about the players we've got? What about Manuel Ugarte? What about Mainoo? Both of them players now vying for one spot alongside Bruno Fernandes or Casemiro. Casemiro is right up there, and Casemiro will play this weekend. I am 100% certain that Casemiro will feature for Manchester United this weekend. So that leaves one position. Is it ultra safe with two holding midfielders, natural holding midfielders, in Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro, or does Mainoo finally step forward? Either way, this is a crucial weekend for both of these players because it's a chance to really force their way into Ruben Amorim's thoughts, get into this team and secure their future, because that's what this is now all about at Manchester United. I've said this so many times before. People have passed it off like it's nothing. This time. There is no time. There is no games at all for these players to work their way into this team. It's Premier League blockbusters, week in, week out, and you have to be on it and take your opportunity. Otherwise, you're gone. It's as simple as that. We're talking about three other midfielders coming in, and we'll talk about that and touch on the midfielder transfer situation in a bit, but it's not important right now because what's important in front of us now is the Manchester derby, an opportunity for two midfielders in particular, Manuel Ugarte and Mainoo, to stamp their authority on that position and say to Ruben Amorim, drop me if you can. That's the type of performance we need from either one of them two this weekend, if going into what has been said is correct. So just to give you some background on this, Ben Jacobs was talking at Gimme Sport yesterday. Fabrizio Romano was talking a little bit about certain things that might be going on as well, about Manchester United's injury situation. No one wants to commit to where Matheus Cunha and Mason Mount are at the moment. No one's going in and saying that it's this amount of time, that amount of time. Both are not thought to be long-term injuries, but there is a chance here that they could still be out for the next few games, the next few weeks. So could they be missing for the Manchester City, Chelsea, Brentford and then Sunderland game? If they are, then this month and this next group of games is do or die for Manuel Ugarte and Mainoo. And you can say that I'm over-egging that and I'm just making something out of that. I'm not. It really is that. When you look at the situation, when you look at what's in front of them two players now, it is a transfer window coming up with not many games being played before it, where Manchester United do have money and targets to bring into that area. Neither one of these players are starting right now. So when everyone's fit and you've got a transfer window where we are going to buy a number 8, these players surplus, completely surplus to requirements. Because we know if someone is brought in and the player comes in that position, Ruben's going to put him in that side. It's as simple as that. We know that is a crucial position that everybody's talking about. These two players need to step up, and they need to step up now. This is their chance to say, don't even think about putting Bruno Fernandes back in this spot, because I'll get into where I think players are going to play and what's going to happen. I want to concentrate more on these two players and what they have to do more than anything. But we've got a special build-up show tomorrow afternoon, which we'll talk about in the morning tomorrow, which is a bit different. We're going to do a Derby Day special going into the Manchester Derby on Sunday tomorrow. So we'll talk about certain positions and things of certain players in that video and that live show. But when it comes to where we're at now with Ugarte and Mainoo, I know what's coming in the transfer window. We know who's out injured right now. We know the problem with Bruno Fernandes, and it's up to Kobbie Mainoo, I think, in particular, right now, because he's the problem. Not as in like he's causing Manchester United loads of problems and it's a real issue behind the scene. This is just Kobbie Mainoo now fighting for his place and not being happy at Manchester United. And if he hasn't got the game time again come January that he wants to feature in Thomas Tuchel's England side, then we're going to get the same talks and the same rumours and speculation circulating around his future at Manchester United and whether he wants to still be at the football club. He wants to be part of the World Cup, and he feels like even if he works hard and gets into this side right now, I'm guessing he's not going to get that game time because Bruno Fernandes is there. This puts it all onto Ruben Amorim. If Kobbie Mainoo goes out on Sunday against Manchester City, or Manuel Ugarte for that matter, United win the game and them two players play excellent, whoever's on the pitch, then it's all on Ruben. Because if he then brings Bruno back in and we get the same problems again, you can't really argue with Kobbie Mainoo's stance about wanting to leave Manchester United. That, I think, is the big thing in this. So Ben Jacobs saying that Manchester United are going for two midfielders, pretty much like every other journalist is doing. So it's not just Ben Jacobs on this. And he's not committed to saying how long these injuries are. He doesn't want to speculate. So we need to make that clear that Ben Jacobs hasn't said this is a definite few weeks out for Mason Mount or Cunha. We're going to find out a lot more detail today, I'm guessing. They're still doing tests now, is what I've been told and what I know. So how long Kobbie Mainoo or Manuel Ugarte are going to get to prove their worth to Ruben Amorim, we will see. We will see when these players come back, or when we find out when these players are coming back, Mason Mount and Matheus Cunha in that department. But just to go back to Kobbie Mainoo again, I've made my stance very, very clear. I know where I'm at. I want Kobbie Mainoo to fight for his place in Man United side and prove to everybody that he's the number one for that midfield spot. But Manchester United are going out and buying players, and the players that are looking to buy are going to be players that are coming in Kobbie Mainoo's position, even if Bruno Fernandes is not there come the end of the season. So this is what we're looking at, and this is where I think right now there is an argument for Kobbie Mainoo. And this is a big if, because he's still got to perform. He's got to come on the pitch and he's going to do the job. And that's where we're at right now with Kobbie. So looking at this, I think it's now time to see exactly what he's made of. But then again, I'm always thinking, like, what if Ruben doesn't play him again? Which is quite within his rights to do. We cannot then complain. I cannot complain if Kobbie Mainoo isn't in that side and wants to leave Man United in January. That's why I'm talking about the future of these players. Because if he comes in this derby, does well like we all hope he is going to, then look, it's up to Ruben Amorim. And Ruben really, and Manchester United, shouldn't be standing in Kobbie's way. It all depends on his performances. Again, though, all of that comes after Kobbie doing it on the pitch. If he doesn't do it on the pitch and United are not performing, Kobbie doesn't have a leg to stand on. And that's the stance, really. That's how we should be looking at it. And that's how a football club should be. That's how a proper football club should be run, I feel. So, yeah. In looking at everything that's happening there, it does come down to these players, whoever comes into the team, who performs well and who grabs the bull by the horns, really, and goes for it. We've got a poll up in the live chat right now just to see where you're all at in terms of who you would play. So, Cunha's out, Mount's out, that's the scenario, and you're looking at Bruno moving into a 10 possibly. Now, look, there is a scenario here I'll talk about in a minute, but first of all, who comes into midfield out of Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte? Let's just keep it as simple as that. Already quite a lot of you in with the votes, so please do keep coming in with them votes, everybody. Make sure that you give me your thoughts on what you think is the best option here. Which of these two would you start? Kobbie Mainoo or Manuel Ugarte? And Kobbie Mainoo is landsliding it at 73% of the vote at the moment. If you are playing catch-up later on, and watching this video after the live is finished, then please do just drop your comments in. Does it have to be Mainoo? Or some people might look at this differently and say, Manuel Ugarte, a better defender. I actually think Mainoo is decent in the tackle, to be honest. I think he is tenacious. I think he doesn't get looked at. The up and down nature of his game, up and down the pitch, I don't think he's going to be needed as much if he's got Bruno beside him, which is why I would always play Bruno and Mainoo. That would be my go-to. Not saying Casemiro's done anything wrong, but Casemiro's definitely gone in the summer. Mainoo wants to stay at Manchester United, so that would be my go-to. But look, it's Ruben, he's the manager, and he's going to make the call on this one. But at the moment, you're all going with Mainoo. Well, not everyone, but it's 27% of you think that Manuel Ugarte is the better option over Mainoo. Let's get into some of your comments on this as well. Right, Robbie with a super chat says, Ugarte is garbage. Straight and forward. He also says, could Bruno go in January? He could do if he wanted to. There's no European football for United, but I see him seeing out the season. I don't think the captain leaves in January. Just how Bruno is and what type of character he is. I think that's where we're at with that. Manny says, Ugarte will start. We need hardcore gangsters in this first 40. Mainoo comes on at 50 and impacts the game when Bruno moves to 10. Nobody is a problem. This is a strategy. This is beyond World Cups. This is United's legacy. No, completely wrong, Manny, I'm afraid, on that one, because we see it that way, but Cobby doesn't. And that's the problem, mate. We're not talking about what we see. What we see and what you say is right. Club comes first. Forget the World Cup. But these players don't think like that anymore. And that, unfortunately, is what Ruben is dealing with right now. I disagree. I wouldn't put Manuel Ugarte in against Manchester City. I don't think he's done enough to say that's my spot. I would be going with a Mainoo as someone who's got a little bit more control on the ball and can pass and can keep the ball. Manuel Ugarte has shown several times that he's erratic with the ball. I understand the presence, but if you go in with Ugarte, you're going into that game with two holding midfielders basically saying, we're here to defend and play to Manchester City's strengths. I think you need the more agile. I think you need the more creative. And I think you need that that younger spark in midfield. Ugarte is a player to do a job. And now if it was Ugarte and Mainoo, then I could see the point. I could. But Casemiro's better than Ugarte. And I think everybody understands that and knows that. And in this type of game, I would always play Casemiro over Ugarte anyway. It should be Ugarte fighting Casemiro to play alongside Mainoo. That should be the way it's looked at. And Bruno should be in at 10. That's logically the best way to look at Manchester United right now. But look, circumstances with the transfer window and the players that have come in, I feel have changed all of that. Ant says, Rodri, Bernardo, etc. turn Mainoo into a ghost. Do they do the same to Manuel Ugarte, though? It's all right looking at one player, but do they do the same to the other? Do Manchester United automatically just say, and here's a scenario as well. What about, and we don't know about Dalot yet, so say for instance Dalot's injury and it was precautionary why he came back from international duty, and today is big because we'll find out in the press conference at from 1 o'clock when we're going live. We'll find out exactly what injuries are serious and what's not. But say, for instance, right, Bruno Fernandes doesn't go into 10. Ahmad goes into 10. His natural position that a lot of people have said. And you've got Bruno, Ahmad, and then a centre forward. And Dalot's fit and plays right wing back. Dalot goes left wing back. And Bruno's back in that 8. And Cobby's not playing at all. It's Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. But that's another scenario that could easily happen today. And then another one on top of that is, and you could even throw a more of a spanner in the works, is does Joshua Zirkzee start over Benjamin Sesko in that other position up top? Because let's not forget, Sesko came on against Burnley before Benjamin Sesko. Sorry, Zirkzee came on before Benjamin Sesko in the Burnley game as well. Is there a thinking that Ruben wants that ahead of, wants Zirkzee ahead of Benjamin Sesko? There's so many different ways you could look at that lineup, and we'll deal with that on Saturday. But I just feel like there is the chance that even with these two injuries, and we'll get that confirmation today, that Mainoo still doesn't feature for Manchester United. And then you go into the realms of, right, okay, when is he ever going to play? Because there isn't any warm-up or tune-up games. His go-to is Bruno and Casemiro in midfield. And if you've only got 4 games over the next 4 weeks, it's going to be Bruno and Casemiro until somebody gets injured. And will Cobby get enough time? Will he be able to actually show what he's worth to Ruben Amorim is my concern heading into January, where the transfer window opens and United are looking to bring another midfielder in. And then you're really looking at that's up against it. If United go out and buy another midfielder in January and Kobbie Mainoo hasn't featured that much, I don't know what Ruben's going to do to convince him to not go to the manager, Jason Wilcox or my brother, and say, get me a loan out of here now, I'm not playing. I don't know how they convince him, unless they're telling him, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes are both leaving in the summer. We want you to work with this player, this playoff in terms of what transfers might be happening, and this is the plan for going forward. Then it's up to Kobbie Mainoo to say, like Manny said in the Super Chat, which is quite relevant as well, is the club more important than the country? Should I be thinking about the World Cup ahead of Manchester United right now? I need to be thinking about the immediate future of my football career rather than a World Cup, which will come around again for me because I'm still only 20. I think it's the whole, he's had a taste of the highlights, the high life, the international football side of things, the big sort of parade and a big event that is a World Cup or an international tournament, and he wants to be part of it again. This is where representation creeps in and starts to take over as well. You've got a big career. Don't be worrying about ruining your career by moving away from where you love playing football right now. But his agency are not going to do that, and that's why we did the video on Kobbie Mainoo and that CAA agency, which is the same one as Dean Henderson, that will keep on probing and leaking and making it hard for Manchester United. We've seen it before, and we can only guess that an agency is thinking of its own player and its clients, and they're going to do that again. And this is where it starts to get, I think, a little bit naughty, a little bit dirty, and I think the tactics then start to creep in. And we'll see this come around in December. Just when United are going to be piling up with games and Kobbie might get more game time, the agency will do their bit again, and just watch for it. And I'll always think back to this show when I said it, but watch in December, just before the January transfer window opens, watch all the stories in and around Kobbie Mainoo. I just hope that Ruben can get hold of him, get him sat down. Look, sign this contract, Kobbie. You're the future of this football club. We are going to be moving the older guard players on in the summer, and then we're going to be looking at a new age midfield. I just hope that happens. I really do, because I still believe in him. I really do. But I'm not going to stand there and let a player dictate what's more important, Man United or England. I don't give a toss about England until England are playing. And right now, the only way you get into that England side is if you're playing football with the right attitude. And there's no guarantee that Tuchel's even going to pick him anyway, even if he's playing games. So if he does get the chance against Manchester City, and he is in that starting lineup, grab it, Kobbie. And I hope he does, and I hope he has the game of his bleeding life, because not only will that be us winning and the Manchester United fans having another day out against Manchester City, but it will give something for Ruben to think about and going, right, okay, he's switched on. I think what's happened over this last few weeks and everything that's happened in the market, him supposedly wanting out, that's all led to this, and this is where we're at now. That's what I hope is happening anyway. In a perfect world, a lot of people would say, and that never really comes about, does it? Matt says, Kobbie not good enough and needs to be sold. In comes Belabor. Simple as. Some people not giving him the chance even now. Perhaps 3-4-3 doesn't suit this squad. Stating the obvious, Robs. Yeah, mate. Thanks for the super chats, everyone. I'm going to come into the chat a little bit more now, so get your comments in, everybody, on this situation. How do you see the whole thing breaking down? Give me your thoughts on where players should be at and what they should be thinking as well, everyone. We play a back three that occupies the 6 to 8 spaces. It's not an orthodox midfield. Stop treating it like one. Who's treating it like one, Nuke? Who's treating it like one? We're just talking about players and players' attitudes, mate. You don't need to go that far, buddy. Let's see. I'm not entirely sure. We will know. I could easily see Bruno in the 10 and Casemiro and Ugarte in the middle, says Ant. He's talking to Carla on that one as well. Bruno, 2 major errors leading to goals from central midfield cost us points in both Arsenal's and Fulham games. You can stats however you can put stats, I think you're supposed to say there, however you want. Bruno in central midfield is a liability. Look, I think we just need to lay off Bruno Fernandes. Like the bigger mistakes in them games when we conceded weren't Bruno Fernandes. You could go way, way, way before them. So, yeah. If Bruno's fit, Bruno plays. He's our best player. He always has been. It's up to Ruben to play him in the right position. And I think the point that Carl's making there is Bruno will do a job for United, but why are we not playing Bruno in his right position at number 10? And stats are stats. Yeah, Bruno's best stats come when he's in 10. Simple as. Boxing says, I see a lot of very talented players at United, very strong squad. I think Ruben has it all to do, I'm afraid, as in making the most out of these. Otherwise, his head's on the block, I'm guessing. I think the wing-back performance this Sunday will be crucial, knowing when to help with the midfield. That might come down to why Dallo might feature as well. We will see, everybody, on that one, won't we? I think there is a good chance. Ellen says, then we have it. Then we have to change the squad. This squad haven't impressed in any system yet. Players that fit Ruben's system, easy fix. Get players that fit Ruben's system, and that's an easy fix. It's a good point there. Like, we can talk about formations and systems, but these players weren't really doing it in Erik Ten Hag's system and formation. And Ruben just outed all of the players with a bad attitude, and that's added to the environment around Manchester United, players down in tools, and the culture of the football club completely taking over. It was like fighting against players that wanted to play for Ruben against too many players that didn't want to play for Ruben. And that was how this season finished. So, last season finished, sorry. But yeah, these players haven't really done well in any system. But they haven't done anything. They haven't done enough in any of the games that they've been playing in to warrant any sort of protection or praise, really, from perhaps a Ruben Amorim system that everybody's going on about. So, yeah, pundits talking about the system, about Ruben Amorim, about the way he is. I think you can just look back and say, well, weren't we absolutely destroying these players the same way for Erik Ten Hag as well? Bad attitude, not working, the system didn't look right again. How many different times? Do we just go back to a 4-4-2 and just make it simple for these players, for God's sake? Like, it's not rocket science. You're a professional footballer, you should understand instruction and what to do. It's what you're paid to do. And a lot of that creeps in as well. Bruno is a liability. The reason he's not playing at 10 is because he can't carry the ball, which moves the team up the pitch quicker. Kind of doesn't make sense. Bruno is a liability. The reason he's not playing at 10 is he can't carry the ball, which moves the team up the pitch quicker. Wouldn't that be moving the team from the 6 and 8 position up the pitch quicker? It can't, yeah, like a bit of a contradiction there, mate. Sorry on that one. Adam, I've asked you many times, but you failed to answer me. If Bruno plays 10, as you keep saying, then who doesn't play, Cunha or Mbeumo? Cunha, because I did say at the start he's injured and out of the game, mate. That's what I'm talking about. It's specifically this weekend. Past that, then Ruben's got to deal with it. And going into the future, he has to find a way. He's the one who brought these players in, so that's why everyone will look at Ruben Amorim. Bruno Fernandes is better at 10. Maybe Ruben would then change the system. 4-2-1-3, 4-2-3-1, whichever way you want to put it. Bruno sat in front of 2 midfielders behind him, with Mbeumo and Cunha either side of Benjamin Sesko. Seems to work well, I would think, would work well with this side. It's quite adaptable, his system. And maybe that, if Bruno's got 2 midfielders behind him, then Bruno fits. It's on Ruben. No one else. We're not dropping Cunha, we're not dropping Mbeumo. If he starts doing that, then there you go. We'll see what happens with Ruben Amorim then. So there you go, Andy. That's my look on that one, mate. Thanks for the question, buddy. For me, it's quite simple. We should have bought 1 number 6 and 1 number 8 instead of 2 number 10s. United must have thought Bruno was leaving after last season, and that's why we got Cunha. Cunha was always number 1, and he was pretty much bought in before the season ended, as we all know. So Cunha was pretty much done in May. So Manchester United already got that business done. It's a crazy one, really, when you look at it. As to Manchester United doing everything they can to actually keep Bruno Fernandes, but then bringing in the 10 still, and then really going in. Like, would we have bought Bryan Mbeumo if Liam Delap came off? That's my ultimate question from the window, because it was quite clear at the start that it was a striker and a number 10. that were coming into Manchester United. Why did we get Mbeumo? Was we thinking that it's going to be Mbeumo or Cunha in as the number 9? That might be what we were thinking. I don't know. We'll never know behind the scenes of what's happening at Manchester United and the thinking. But one thing is for certain, United were in for Cunha and Delap. And them were the 2 deals that we were going to run with. Mbeumo was a target for Manchester United, but maybe, like the comment said, maybe Manchester United were thinking, like Mr. Dacia Sandero said there, maybe we're thinking that Bruno was leaving. Maybe this is a plan for the future. We can't afford to lose Mbeumo and Cunha now because we know Bruno's leaving next season, next summer. Let's get them in while we can. And maybe there will be a bit of leeway for Ruben until Bruno, Casemiro leave, and then this team really starts to take shape and players are being played in their right positions. Look, it's a big ask, that, isn't it? This is Man United. We cannot be just ignoring one season and forgetting about one season. People saying Bruno can't carry the ball, but most players can't pass it like he does, so it's a balance. Yep, that's one from Kaz there. Definitely agree with that one. Like, Bruno creates more chances than anyone else in the Premier League. He plays more forward passes than anyone else in the Premier League. He has his qualities. He does. He's the most creative player in the hardest league in the world. One manager will find out how to use him and get the best out of him. But I don't think now we're going to see that under Ruben. It's just my guess from how stubborn he is anyway. Robbie says, I love 4-4-2. Doesn't everybody love 4-4-2? Isn't it the most simple formation and system in the world and the most understandable one? And it's so adaptable as well. And if you've got a good system, 4-4-2 works well. You could have Benjamin Sesko with Matheus Cunha in a 2-prong attack, still with wingers like Ahmad and Mbeumo on the pitch as well, with decent fullbacks behind them in Dorgu and maybe Dallo in time would have been moved on. But you've got other defenders coming through. Them easily can then move into midfield and make 3. You could have 3 at the back. You could turn the midfield into 5. There's so many ways you can adapt 4-4-2. It's about the right personnel and understanding what they need to do in and out of possession, more importantly than anything else. The formations really are, they're not irrelevant. They're just for setup, to know where to be when out of shape and in shape, and where to be, who you need to be close to, what the triggers are, who you need to be next to. When he goes, you stay, and things like that. Instructions, and you would hope football IQ would be up there to understand and take it on board. That's something that I've questioned quite a lot at Manchester United and their players over the last, 10 years, going off since Fergie left. I'm not sure Amorim's overly keen on Benjamin Sesko. That's an expensive mistake if you have done then. Do we think Benjamin Sesko's going to play this weekend, by the way, everybody? Do you think he's going to come in? That's why I brought in Joshua Zirkzee into the equation. Does it feel like he can do more of a job? Sesko is a threat. If you're going to put balls into the box, and Sesko's going to win them. He's absolutely awesome in the air. So let's just play a system that actually suits the players we've got. Can you imagine you have got in the future, and Bruno's gone, you try and play some form of a 4-4-2 with Cunha just off Benjamin Sesko, and you've got wide players like Ahmad and Mbeumo crossing the ball in for them. It would be something. It would be, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's get through everything else that's going on. So, yeah, we are waiting for the news regarding the injuries that is going to come today in the press conference. But it is a good chance, hopefully, for Kobbie Mainoo or Manuel Ugarte to grab the bull by the horns, I think, in the derby this weekend. And definitely 100% take the game to Manchester City. I think they're there for the taking. Manchester United, by the way, more and more talks are coming in that they will be going to buy a midfielder in January and another one in the summer. Which way around that is, I don't know. But the talks of Elliot Anderson are definitely starting to vamp up now. It's going to be a bit of a battle for Manchester United to bring in a certain playoff, certain calibre of player as well. Going off where we finish in the league, obviously, I've said this last night, we need to be right up there to start attracting these players as well, because you're looking to take players from rivals right now. Forest are fighting against us in them positions just outside the top 4. So too are Brighton, and so too are So Forest, Brighton and Crystal Palace for Adam Wharton, say, for instance. So it's going to be difficult for Manchester United. It really is. But I do feel like... I feel like the movement in midfield is really going to affect what happens to Kobbie Mainoo. I don't see United actually not buying anybody in January. I think we are going to go and get a midfielder. And if a midfielder comes in, it is someone that Ruben's going to play. Otherwise, we wouldn't be messing around with it. That's been made clear. One thing we know for certain from the summer is if someone comes in, it's going to be someone who's going to play, because they're not messing around with second-rate options right now. It'll be a loan for a good player who's going to come in and do a job, or it's going to be a permanent sale that Manchester United feel like they could have got done anyway this weekend. Sorry, this weekend. I wish. Tom says 133 subscribers away from 100k. Yes, indeed, mates. We are almost there. It's been a long road, and we could actually be there this weekend. It would be mega if it was. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the like button as well. Just reading through some of the headlines hitting the papers and social media this morning as well, just to keep you updated with things. Manchester United are in talks to play a series of lucrative midweek friendlies in order to fill the gaping void left by their lack of European football. Matches could be played in front of paying crowds like in the UAE. United, with 11 free midweeks before Christmas, made around 7.8 million during their Asia tour, boosting their finances for the summer transfer window. So, Man United in talks. It's embarrassing. I understand it. I understand why United will be doing this. But if there is any lucrative sort of friendlies that Manchester United can do to raise money, then they're going to do it. You have to think outside the box. And I think I said it then. It's embarrassing that the fact that we aren't in these competitions being paid by UEFA, and we're now looking for friendlies in the middle of the Premier League season just to fill the void, to fill the gap. That shows you exactly how far Manchester United have fallen and what we're having to do to try and catch up. Everything is being geared to another big summer transfer window, it would seem. And this is risking everything, because you're playing friendlies here, and you're, I'm guessing, going to be playing first-team players and putting them on the pitch. What if someone gets injured in a different climate and it ruins the running for the season and what Manchester United have to do? This, I don't think, should be happening for Manchester United. But look, it's a money game now. And if I'm Ruben Amorim right now, I'm bricking it. If I'm being told by the ownership of this football club that we're going to be playing friendlies across all the way over in the UAE, and wherever it may be, Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or wherever it may be, then I'm worried as a manager. It just shouts out pure desperation, that to me. And that's a report going around the papers today. Manchester United looking to play friendlies in between Premier League games. No, I'm not for that at all. I think it's... I mean, you tell me in the chat, like, what kind of words that just shouts out desperation to me. I can't think of anything else. I'm not looking to put a negative on this at all and just drive that agenda, but I just don't think that we should be looking for friendlies in the middle of a Premier League season. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. It shouldn't be happening, and I think it's going to affect Manchester United's players. If injuries start coming from it, and that hampers our Premier League season just because we're trying to save or make a few extra mil, how about you get on the training ground and concentrate on moving up that table, because every single position in that table gains you £3 million in prize funds at the end of the Premier League season. How about you take it on the chin and say you're crap and you deserve to be where you are and you've got to work harder? How about that? Just accept where you are instead of trying to earn on the side. It's the best way I can call that, isn't it? It's like a little side gig, isn't it, from your job? It's like, no, you've underperformed in your main job, so really now to counter that, you're going to go and do something else to earn a little bit more money. That's all that is for me. Your full concentration then is not on the Premier League, in my opinion. You're distracted. You're thinking about that heat. You're thinking about going away. Your players are looking forward to it. Do they down tools a little bit? And going from a soft, friendly, straight into a Premier League game the few days later, with all of the travel involved as well, it's not going to help the players at all. Concentrate on the football. Never mind the money. You missed out. It's your fault. Find another way. Get up that Premier League table. Stay at Carrington. Practice. Train. Work hard on the system. Try and narrow that down to what Ruben wants and give everybody the best opportunity of playing in it. If it doesn't work for them, then you sell them players and you move on. I can't believe we will be wanting to do this, and it's something that I definitely don't want to happen, and I'm not happy about at all. I mean, give me your thoughts on this, please, everybody. Does it sound a little bit half-hearted, sort of desperate? Give me your thoughts on this. Let's just see. Tom renewed his membership. Thank you. Thomas in there as well says, the best podcast ever. No waffling on, just straight answers. That other idiot Bridge or whatever tells you what we had for breakfast before he talks about football. No, just all football talk. We don't care about anything else on here. But I'm just looking for some comments on this. These extra games. Cheers for renewing that membership there, Tom lad, as well. Thank you. Let me just double check. We've got a couple, one more super chat in as well from Robbie, which says, LVG played 4-4-2 versus QPR. We won 4-0. One game against the poor QPR side, though. I remember LVG actually getting Phil Jones to take corners in the corresponding fixture. Remember that? Phil Jones with two hands in the air at the corner flag, taking corners for Man United at Loftus Road. Oh, that's a picture I'll never forget. Good old LVG. He did it his way, didn't he? To be honest, LVG was the only manager that's been able to put across his style and philosophy onto this Man United side post Alex Ferguson. Not one other manager. You could say maybe Ole in counter-attacking football. We did have some excitement there with Ole, and some of them days were really good. The lockdown days under Ole were really exciting for Manchester United, but that was a problem. There was no crowd there. And maybe playing with no pressure, give these players a chance. Maybe it is the burden of wearing a Man United shirt, which all of these players over the last 10 years have failed to handle. Could look at it that way. Please give me some more thoughts on these Middle East friendlies, everybody. We don't have Deep Six when team captain is available. You need Ugarte. Glazers are not getting any dividends until 1.5 years from now, 1.5 years from now. We are focused on the financial aspect, but haven't mentioned the match fitness benefits. Again, though, can you fully get match fit going from climate to climate? And they're talking about 11 midweek games here to fill it. I get the match sharpness side of things, but honestly, one game a week and practice games at Carrington, I think are going to be better. I do. I think they're going to be better. Amorim says he's happy to have more time training so we don't need to play extra games in between the Premier League games, says Stephen. That's the thing. I don't think Ruben would be up for this at all. And it's just a story at the moment and something to talk about. But again, it's one of them that cries out money, 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 money for me. That's it. Don't forget, everybody, I'm rocking the latest replica training top right now. Get yours, QR code on the screen there with OK jerseys. The link also in the description, everybody. Grab your bargains right now, £15 a shirt with extra discount if you put promo code Adam into the promo code section as well when checking out. Get even more off, so you're going to be buying shirts for less than 15 quid, people. Get them now. Absolute top quality gear as well. Have you seen me wearing several of these shirts throughout different shows? So get on there and make it happen, everybody. Get whatever shirt you want, by the way. Recommendation? Retros. Oh my God, so many different retros out there. Get on it now, everyone. OK jerseys right there. Link is there, everyone. You Can't Compete. I just dropped that link into the live chat as well there, so I'll pin that up for you there, everyone. So go check that out, please. Right, checking through all of the other news and everything that is going on. just double check. We have got some updates on Manchester United actually looking at potential young players. There's been a few more reports coming around about United doing some groundwork for some younger players. One in particular, and this story has come out from Team Talk today. Manchester United are one of the most interested teams in Joffrey Mokio. I think that's how you say it. Joffrey Mokio is a 17-year-old who is considered as one of the biggest talents in the world right now, playing at Ajax. Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Real Madrid and Barcelona are all interested in him and are keeping tabs on the rising Ajax star. 17-year-old that could potentially be another one of them Manchester United targets that we have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with, as you've seen before, like the Aiden Heaven types of players, the Chidowabi types of players. It is going to be a free-for-all for Manchester United going into the future. Look, it's not big news right now, and it's not obviously the news that everybody's going to be talking about. We're building up to the Manchester derby and things like that. But just again, another reminder that Manchester United are doing things that this club never did before behind the scenes as well. So where I don't like the Far East tours in between Premier League games, I do actually like the fact that we are going above and beyond to bring in the best young talent out there. And there will be one of these players, or maybe even a couple of these players, that really do come through and shine for Manchester United. And the recruitment is there, and it's good. It's good to know. But yeah, there's another player there that Man United may be looking into. We're fighting off some top clubs, and all the other clubs do it. Why are we not in there? And this is, over the last 2 years, something that this club has been really big on and has pushed hard down on. So, yeah. That's what I think is good for Manchester United. And I do think that we are now, I feel, in the right position structurally wise for bringing in the best younger players from around the globe. If you didn't watch my video last night, I put some extra content out last night talking about Manchester United's academy right now, JJ Gabriel. All the information and news on him in that video from last night. So when we finished here, please do go across and watch that video. It went up last night. It's the latest video on the channel in the video section as you go on the main page. JJ Gabriel, the youngest ever Manchester United player to play in the Premier League. That is what is being talked about right now at Manchester United. So get over onto that video once we've finished here and get all the information and get all of the up-to-date news on that side of things. We have got some seriously talented players. A little bit gutted for Kai Rooney. He's just picked up a bad injury. He was doing absolutely amazing, Wayne Rooney's son, in Man United's academy. But I want to dig out some more information on that for the future. But it doesn't look good for him. A big setback, unfortunately. 15-year-old playing in Man United's under-18s and just picked up an injury. Gutting. It really is. And they're the players that you just hope actually do get there, make it. And you pray that they don't get injuries coming through and their developments. And then the players that do. And I'm talking about this because, trust me on this, Manchester United, and I know I go on about it all of the time, but we have got so many talented players coming through this academy right now. You just hope that injuries don't creep in. Like Shea Lacey, for instance, only just come back from another injury now and smashed it the other day. Keep an eye on Man United's games this weekend as well. Man United under-18s against Burnley this weekend. If you want to see JJ Gabriel in action, and the likes well, I'm not even going to go through them. There's so many different players that Manchester United have got coming through. You'll watch Mantato, you'll see players like Kamasin through Manchester United's academy, Scanlon, obviously Biancheri as well. You see Kone making his comeback in the under-21s. There's loads going on for Manchester United over the weekend as well. So make sure that you do tune in and watch them. But yeah, that pretty much rounds up our show for today, everybody. There isn't much more to get through because we're going to be back later on again at 1 o'clock, everyone. So 1 o'clock today, we're going to be running through all of Ruben Amorim's press conference, so make sure you are there, everybody. We're going to be doing it live as the quotes come out. We may start it around about 1:15. I'll keep you updated, and obviously make sure you hit the subscribe button as well to make sure you know when the videos are coming up. So yeah, more content today, and obviously we'll have the evening show later on as well, everyone. And then a big day tomorrow, obviously starting in the morning with FUTV this time tomorrow. Then we're leading into a special Derby Day preview game with some extras in that, leading into our Soccer Saturday, our very own Soccer Saturday. Saturday fix is coming. We're going to be live through all the 3 o'clock kickoffs over on Football Talks as well. And then we're going to have the normal evening show again on FUTV after that. And then Sunday is Derby Day, and it's mental busy. We are going to be doing a watch-along here on Forever United TV. On that watch-along, we are going to be having our match bingo partners involved as well. And again, I keep telling everybody, grab your chance now to win up to 300 quid this weekend. All you have to do is hit the QR code on the screen or the link in the description or live chat for Match Bingo. Download the app if you haven't already, and then go into promo code section and put in FUTV, all capitals, and boost your deposit amount by 200%, giving you a chance to play in more games that are just £2 a game, and give yourselves a chance of winning up to 300 quid this weekend against Man City. We're going to be playing along with it in the watch-along as well, so make sure that you're there this weekend, and it all starts today. The weekend action and content is jam-packed throughout the next 3 days, everybody, so stay tuned in. Give this video a like on the way out. Thank you, everybody, for your participation as always, and I will see you all later on.